Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of our Timberborn Ironteeth Pressure playthrough. We are on 1.0 experimental branch. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Glad to have you. So this map has been kind of kicking our butt. Last episode, we sent some of our beavers down to better manage our underground pipes that our water comes through. We basically tried to make it go to here as soon as possible because trying to pressurize all of this really took a long time after our drought ended, and we weren't getting our water very quickly at all. So we had to send beavers into the contaminated water. So 5 of them ended up being contaminated. We did talk about how one way to deal with that is to build another district somewhere far away and assign those contaminated beavers to it. And then if we don't put any food over there, the beavers will quickly die and no longer be a drain on resources. I save that method for beavers that become contaminated due to their own stupidity, not for the heroic beavers I send on a dangerous mission. So these heroes will not be dishonored in that way. So worst case scenario, they just are a drain on our resources, keep eating food, keep drinking water, but are unable to work until they die of old age. Best case scenario, we get some centrifuges up and running and we're able to treat them. We do have an unstable core about ready to blow up. I don't think this one will do much. It just gets it a little closer to our water source over here. So that shouldn't be much of an issue. Where's actually this bad water coming from at the moment? Where is this coming from? That bad water source right there. Okay, so this is pressurized bad water. Does it have an outlet? Okay, it flows out here eventually. Is what I think I'm seeing. Any outlets over here? Okay, and it also flows out here. Okay. But if where was that at? Where's the one that's going to blow up? Over here. That would connect it to this level. It's going to flow up here too. It's going to flow up there because it's pressurized. It flows up there and it's dumping right on our colony. That actually is a concern. Okay, so we need to get up here as quick as possible. Something like that. And then we need to demolish these so it has a flow path. I think just even 2 will be enough. And then we need to block it off some way. Least building would probably be somewhere in here. I mean, this would be a lot less building too, but then we're going to have the same issues. All right, so we got to deal with that unstable core, actually. Let's finally unpause this. Because, yeah, it will flow out of there, I do believe. I wish I could see what level. Okay, so this is at level 6. And over here, this is at level 5. So it should want to flow over here first, but That way it doesn't have any place to escape until level 7 is its way out. So yeah, it will get up above this. Actually, we could avoid that whole thing if we were able to blow a path through here. That would keep it from pressurizing over here up to that level. This whole map is just a ticking time bomb of issues. Whatever, we can get it done. I think. We at least have the planks necessary. Let's see what else we can do. We are really short on labor. We knew that. Let's save on that. Do we have these going? Where is... Yeah, it's just the labor shortage that's turning out to be an issue. We don't have anybody even running those. Let's go ahead and pause these. Let's see, what do we got here? Planks. Okay, that is very useful that we have planks that close. It would also be nice to get some logs closer. So I'm going to go ahead and prioritize that as well. We're going to make sure that this is just high and this is very high. And I don't know why that beaver's thirsty. We have plenty of water to go around. Okay, we got up here. So let's go ahead and build the path now. It's going to be a little zigzaggy, unfortunately, because that's how this channel goes. The river channel here. So we need them to get to these blockages and clear them out. We need to put that at very high or a high priority. Okay, we do have that lumberjack. So after these are gone, let's figure out where and how we are blocking this off. I think let's just not go as far. And do that. And then after they get back from here, we'll go ahead and delete this path and build the last one right there. And that should force the bad water that direction. I just want to be sure there's enough flow over there for it. I think we actually have the time to demolish all of those. The pup insisted on sitting in my lap now, so I am currently trying to play with the puppy in my lap while licking my hand. It's good times. I haven't really gamed a whole lot like that. And now my arm is an armrest. Okay. That's fine. Not an armrest. It's a chin rest. Headrest for the pup. That's just fine. All right. As long as he doesn't mind the sound of my voice talking to myself, we're a-okay. We don't even have beavers to work these, do we? We're doing good on berries. Let's pause that guy. Let's check up on that unstable core plan. One more blockage to demolish. And they're not going to get that done. Okay. Really? Why do you guys keep running back? I think that second one was because of workday. Well, you know what? I can't even put that on pause. We do got to get the levee here. We only have a day now. I'm going to watch if a beaver goes beyond there. I'm going to pause it. Okay. So we can cancel that demolition. Let's get rid of these unneeded pathways. Just to save on calculations they have to do. I think that should be enough to force the water over there. The bad water. Okay. So food's not doing great, but part of the reason it's not doing great is because quite frankly, our labor's not doing great. Let's go ahead and build another breeding pod. I don't want our population to grow too fast. However, with those contaminated beavers, we're having issues with labor. So that does need to be addressed. Since we're not building much, let's lower our builders for now. Man, we are definitely having labor issues though, huh? Is what it is, I suppose. Okay, so these are no longer useful, but these are. What about these? These are still doing good. Still got a long drought ahead of us here. And really, it's just the 5 contaminated beavers that are really causing the labor issues. Okay, we have enough scrap for now. Because we're not producing any more metal at this exact moment, we can shut off the scrap. The scavenger flag. There we go. Let's see, where are all of our other planks? Okay, a lot of them are here. Let's just not prioritize that by haulers anymore. And we don't need everything getting moved way the heck over there. All right, 12 days left of the drought. We're slowly working on that science to get the steam engine. Once we get that, it will be very helpful. Also trying to increase our population because we are having labor issues. Probably don't need this forester going at this exact moment. They're not doing much. Yeah, this is... There's some bad water mixed in there, and there wasn't much we could do about it. It's backed up way the heck over there. So until we clear this blockage, there's not much to do about that. So we want to clear that blockage at some point and block off this. So that our water doesn't just drain here. So this map really is set up like a bunch of pipes, and then this is the drain, essentially. It starts out as a pipe, but if you block it here, it's no longer a pipe, and once these are gone, it's now officially the drain. Oh, I suppose that unstable core probably blew up. Where was that at again? This way. It did blow up. It exposed that. That's going to pressurize and start flowing. Kind of a cool little cave it made there, though. That will definitely cause issues. Food's not doing so hot, but it's because we're harvesting a lot of cassava. And not a lot of kohlrabi, and we are not processing the cassava right now to save on labor. Oh, we do have the 400 science. So that means we're getting steam engines. I'm dumb. We don't have the 25 gears. So we're going to need to rebuild that power wheel and turn on the gear workshop to get our 25 gears that we need to build this. Just a little premature. I didn't look at the mats that it needed. We do not have all the materials. So we wasted basically wasted 25% of 50. So 12 and a half logs we wasted by having to rebuild this plus a little bit of time. Because we're going to get 75% of these 50 logs back. We're only going to have that running for a real little bit to get 2 more gears. Whatever, it happened. It's unfortunate, but it happened. Hey, we got the gears. Now we can delete this and build that steam engine. Our well-being is going down because we're not harvesting enough kohlrabies and we're not processing the cassavas. We're going to address that. It's going to be fixed. We actually have a spare beaver at the moment. That is very interesting. He can work right there for now, chopping down some trees. Actually, better yet, he can work here planting some trees. Excellent. Let's get that steam engine running. Now that there are geothermal engines as well, they renamed the regular engine to steam engine. Hey, you don't need to be chewing on my socks, puppers. All right, let's start processing some cassavas. Am I crazy, or is that a slightly new animation for the steam engine? For some reason, it looks different to me. I very well could be crazy. Anyway, we got lots of power now on this thing. And we can start making some more metal so that we can build more sluices that we need and get our tube-way started. We definitely need those as well. So that's going to be good. Really nice having this power without having to have beavers run on that wheel. Yeah, we're still at that stage. It's kind of a little bit of a waiting game on materials. What we're waiting on really is science and our population to increase. We can definitely take a look at what's going on elsewhere. If we were ever hurting for log, we can turn off these water pumps. They're not doing anything for us anymore. If we're hurting for logs, we could always chop these down. We're doing okay on logs though. If I had to guess which unstable core is next, I'm guessing this one is going to come down not too long. Let's see, we do need a way for the bad water to actually flow out of here. We do need to delete those blockages. But the unstable cores will do that for us at some point. So maybe we just wait and see if that will happen. Really nice if these were the next ones. Let's look at where we could put a better bad water pump that will actually be in bad water more of the time and this is looking like the answer, to be perfectly honest. 100%. I don't know if it fills up this whole thing. It looks like it will. So we don't want to go down here necessarily. But we do want to do that. Let's see. You can get rid of a few of these kohlrabies in order to connect the pathway. Oh, that's where the door is. Okay. Because we're going to need bad water to get dynamite, tunnels, extract. It'd be nice to get the extract that we can help these beavers. Age 60, age 48. One of them's really young. It would have been really nice if we could have chosen to send the old beavers that wouldn't last that long to spare the young ones the longer torment of being contaminated. Didn't work out that way. It's fine. Not too worried about it. All right, that's done, so we can now build that. And we're short on the gears, of course, of course. Let's put at least a small tank over here for the bad water. One of our contaminated beavers, it appears, died because we only have 4 contaminated left. And I bet it was that 60-year-old. Yep. No good selected. Oh, yeah, that wants to be bad water. Injured beaver. At least they are in the medical beds. We still have enough medical beds, so that's good. We honestly could use a little more cassava storage. This really isn't necessarily the place I want to long-term set up, like the living facilities. But it's not the worst place either, I guess. It's what we have available to us at the moment, right? This is actually a really nice flat area that we could potentially put an irrigation pond. All we would need to do is have some contamination barriers for when the bad tide comes. But we don't even need that once we get the diversion set up over here properly. All right, yep, these are running out of clean water to pump. So be it. We're running out of scrap. We need to turn that guy back on. Yeah, we're doing okay on water. Let's save the labor on that, because these aren't even being that efficient with all that bad water mixed in anyway. We're not replanting a whole bunch of oaks. Let's pause them. Maybe get another inventor hut going. I would really like the centrifuge just for the fact of helping out these contaminated beavers. That's kind of what's on my mind next. While we're not doing anything else, let's go ahead and delete these bushes that died due to contamination. That'll clear up some room. Why not those two? It'd be nice to get rid of some of these brambles as well, but there's a high chance we will get injured trying. Okay. We're getting a much better mix of food. I'm going to delete this berry bush too. I do want some storage for cooked cassavas. Fermented, actually. So we have a decent amount of cassavas built up, and we need to process them now. Okay. Because it would feel better to have some more food built up for, well, quite a lot of things, actually. Hey, our bad water is full over there. Maybe we make a medium tank over here. We're starting to get more... Excuse me, my voice is cracking. Losing my voice a little bit. We're starting to get more gears coming in, so I think we can go ahead and build that medium tank over here for the bad water, and then we can just get rid of this one. What happens if I delete this? Does the bad water stay in solid form? It does. Okay. So now we can use those gears and those gears to help build the tank over here. Let's set it at high priority to collect those, because remember, it's the builders that collect the rubble, the debris. I had it right the first time, it's rubble. So to make them focus on picking this stuff up instead of just trying to build stuff without resources, we do need to set that on a higher priority sometimes. And this is one of those times. Drought is almost over. So with that, we're going to see if our system up here is sufficient. I'm also willing to bet, well, maybe not bet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have another unstable core become active. They definitely always seem to happen on the end of days. Aha, it did. So I bet that was programmed to start to come online at the start of cycle 9. Wait a minute. That one. Okay, that's going to make our drain, basically. So we are going to have to, in order to not have all of this just flow out, which is going to drain all of this, we're going to need, oh, little leg there, to plug this. Like, just build a path across here. The good news is they'll get all that bad water that's trapped under there out. So that's not that big of a concern. You know what? One thing we should do is we should really get a reservoir of some kind going. I thought about bridges to get across here, but they're too science expensive at the moment. So what we're going to do for a reservoir, we're just going to build up around here. We're going to do something like sluices down here. Suppose we could have been doing this during that drought, so I apologize for not getting more done when I could have, but I hadn't really thought of it. So maybe we just go across there. Yeah, I like that. Let's get a path across right there as well. And then we'll also do levees there. Okay. Is there a way, any decent way to get up here and then down there to kind of connect these settlements a little bit more? Not without dynamite or a lot of scaffolding. Because this is super far from our settlement. Tube-ways will help with that too once we get them. Okay, this building's flooded. We need to pause it. We need to switch to using these. So basically, I described this as a drain. Well, right now, all of this water is draining into it until this whole section becomes completely full. And once this blows up, this can't get completely full because it's going to drain off the map. All right, so we are pushing a lot of that water through. We can probably turn on these pumps. Let's get another builder in here. We don't need a whole lot more metal. Let's pause that guy for now. Could definitely use a little more planks, though. Let's go ahead and send our beavers down here to plug this. There's not much, if any, bad water left in there. It's forced this way, any that was left in there, because that's where it flowed, the direction of flow. It carried the bad water with it. Forget, what's there? Yeah, of course there's a path there. Can you reach these? You should be able to, right? Yeah, no problem. So that's going to keep all of our water from just draining through this hole once that unstable core blows up. These are underwater, okay. That's fine. Okay, a decent amount of bad water stored up. Hey, we have enough science for that centrifuge. Truth be told, though, we only have 2 contaminated beavers left. How old are they? 57? Okay, 34. One of them might live long enough to receive treatment. Thing is, we're also going to need to unlock these decontamination pods for that to happen. So, we'll see. See, storage. Let's get 2 small tanks here. One for bad water obtain, one for extract. Yeah, getting that 400 science is going to be a bugger. No doubt about that. I do think our 200 bad water might be enough for now. So I am going to pause this guy. Just because we are still struggling with labor some. I'd like to get more inventor huts running. We'll put the workers back down to 2 to get all 4 of these spinning. So we want these to open, and we'll just, for now, close if the contamination gets above 0. We'll even just say above 5 is fine. I don't think there's any reason that should be contaminated other than a bad tide. But it is what it is. No storage for logs. Okay, that's almost a good problem to have. That means we have too many logs. It would be nice to store them, of course. But we do have a little bit more priorities. Okay, it's going to be a drought, not a bad tide. So that is good information. We only have that 1 beaver left contaminated. And this just isn't getting built at all right now. And that is because they are all going over. I say all, but I think we have a grand total of, what, 2 builders right now? Yeah, they're going all the way over here trying to build this. That's what's going on. Let's prioritize this centrifuge a little bit. Hey, we have a few more workers. Of course, let's get logs over here. obtain, and set that at a high priority. Maybe not very high, just high. And that will drastically speed up the building of like these levees. Like an insane amount. Okay, we're still doing pretty good on food. Not too worried about that. Water, we have over 1,000. Having a little more stored up would not be bad, of course. So we'll see if we can do that. We already did all the preparation that we have not done all the preparation necessary for this unstable core. That needs to be a high priority. I bet I built these first, and that's why that wasn't built. But we need this done so that that unstable core doesn't end up draining all of our water out of our settlement. I am glad that it gives that ringing alarm sound when the unstable core is 3 days out. I almost wish it would also do it when it first became active. I haven't noticed anything like that. Maybe it did and I just didn't notice. All right. That is done. I'm pretty sure one of the reasons they removed the waterfall limits is just because they wanted to make this map and they didn't want to have to deal with upside down waterfalls like I did on my other Ironteeth playthrough with my connected reservoirs. The quote-unquote waterfall limit was really a vertical change limit, and you needed enough edges for it to go up the pipe, like here. At least that's my theory of why they removed that mechanic, so that they can make a map of confusing underground pipes that are constantly changing because of exploding cores. Drought has started. So be it. Hey, we have some extract. This beaver is getting older by the... Well, I don't know. Because it clearly says days here. But that beaver's age is going up pretty fast. I wonder if that ages in days, not years, like we normally assume as humans. When you say how old you are and you say I'm 5, that's 5 years, not 5 days. But I'm wondering if the age of these beavers is days. Because he was 24 not all that long ago. So I'm going to see at the start of this next day if he becomes 40. Indeed he does. So yeah, that ages in days. So we have beavers only living 60 days long. That's unfortunate. You know, we have a little bit more demand than we have supply here. Which is pretty intense, I guess. We don't have much more to places to put the extract, so we might as well pause that actually here soon. Right now. Extra beaver, let's make it a hauler. So the reason I'm not building the levees above these to start with is because I want, if this fills up, I want the water to flow out above these sluices. So I want this to be the lowest point. For that to even be the lowest point, we need all of these to be done. So let's build those fairly quickly so that we get access to building the rest of these levees quicker instead of focusing on these ones next. Okay, we can access some of this water over here that's just sitting in that pond that would be lost to evaporation if we don't collect it. Hey, you know what? We got the 400 science for the decontamination pod. How old is our beaver? 41? Well, you might actually have lived long enough to receive treatment. Congratulations. Highest of priorities there. We have all the materials necessary. It's just kind of the waiting game. And I think part of the reason it's a waiting game is that some of our planks are far away. No, I think they just needed to build that first. It is done. Now where all our contaminated beaver go to it. I hope he's going to it. Indeed. He is receiving treatment. We have provided medical care for one of the heroic beavers. It's going to take a while for that contamination to wear out, even in the decontamination pod, but hopefully he's already feeling some relief. So yeah, this bar needs to go all the way down for him to no longer be contaminated. Okay. Now that we have this across, they can access all of these at the same time. So that will greatly increase the build speed of this project. Now, I could just put a dam on here, and this would actually then be useful once this is done, of course. But I'm kind of hoping we can get all of this done, and then we can do levees and then a dam. Why is that one empty? I think I need to prioritize that by haulers. Maybe get a few more haulers moving that stuff. Or halfway treated. Why is that one sleeping? I don't know. I'll try not to ask questions. It's usually better for my sanity. Oh, we could definitely use some more bad water, though. Now. Population issues are rearing their ugly heads again. That'll happen. I just want the logs transported over here so that it speeds up the construction process over here. Beaver is almost fully treated. I'm actually kind of surprised we got this done in time to even treat the one. But I'm glad we did not give up on him. A little less than 10 days left. And he's cured. He's cured, and he's an inventor. He's a contributing member of society. Awesome. That unstable core did blow up without us paying attention, and it drained this whole thing out like we anticipated it would. But it did not affect us because we got our levee done. Look at us go. All right. Next order of business. More metal for tubeways. Or possibly sluices if we need to address this. Actually, realistically speaking, we should build the sluices here at least. We still want something there. Yeah, because when a bad tide hits, we want this to be where we're sorting it. Let's go ahead and work on that. Delete one of these levees. It's not going to cause any issues right now because this isn't bad water. We're going to need so that will get blown up by that. That's the problem. Okay. So really, we just need to levy that out, right? That one's even causing problems. Okay. Okay. So once that blows, not even active yet, but we want to make sure it doesn't cause issues, so we need to build that. It's also kind of hate to do it, but I think it'd be maybe during the drought's not the time to do this. I need to delete that in order to delete these blockages so that the water has a path to go over here when it's the bad tide. We can at least lay down the paths for that without much issue. And demolish. And I think that these water sources are weak enough that this being one tile wide should not be an issue. Well, let's go ahead and get that set up over there. Kind of a pretty high priority. It's not super high, but I want to plug this up again before the drought is over. I guess it's not hugely necessary, because so what if some water bubbles up here first? Now that this is blocked off, actually, that's not even all that necessary. Actually, it is, because it won't flow. It won't flow out here otherwise, so I should not have deleted that. Oh, we never built the path there, so that was part of the problem. That makes total and complete sense. I don't want to delete the rubble. I want to delete that I misplaced. There we go. How is our reservoir going? Not too bad, not too bad. All right. So these are all done pumping that water. These can be shut off as well. We're down to just these two pumps right here that can access the water. Okay. If I do this, open this up, it will drain out, especially once I open that up. I think I'll wait till the drought is a little bit closer to being done, and then I will go ahead and do that. Um, so that I know we have plenty of water. I don't want all of our water to drain out at the moment. So I am going to put a few storages down here. It's not really enough room for one of these big ones. But we're going to put two of those piles there because we're also going to build some sluices here. So actually, we probably want three of these piles. So we're going to have one set for planks obtain, one set for logs obtain, and one set to metal blocks obtain. That's too far from the district center. That can be fixed just like that. Actually, they're almost done with this. So this log one, yeah, it still will be useful for rebuilding that when it's done, I guess. So let's prioritize those. Lower that priority just a smidge. We're looking pretty good. Food stable. We're still sitting at plenty of water. We're getting some more metal blocks. Those are things I like to see. All right. Check on this. Okay, it's still going, but we have our builders kind of focused elsewhere at the moment. We can take two beavers out of the inventor huts to be builders. I think that will be good for us to get these little projects done that we have down here. Oh, of course, those aren't useful. It's flooded at the moment. All right, so we have 40 beavers. 80. 80 times 4 is 320. We have more than enough water in storage. Let's delete this and begin that process of demolishing these. It's going to drain this water out. It's unfortunate. We have enough water stored up to survive this drought, though. I mean, I guess while there's still water there, we can keep these pumping, right? But once these are demolished, we will not have that option. We're probably approaching the end of this episode. I want to just finish this underground pipe renovation that I'm doing. And then we can go ahead and call it quits. Wow, they barely got there. And then they have to go back. Whatever. So after that's drained, we're going to re-put the levee here. And then we're going to put sluices across here. So that good water can flow this way, bad water has to go out that way. And then either way, it will pressurize. Bad water will pressurize here and go out that way. Until these blow up, bad water is just going to spill over here and then eventually hit one of these channels. Shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't be an issue. They'll just have to go up higher here before it spills over. All right, so those blockages, they're gone. So this has water in it here, which means these buildings are still useless because they're still flooded. We don't have enough pressure in here to force the water to drain that way, so that's why it's doing that. Let's go ahead and delete those paths. Let's unpause it. We don't need it paused right now. No, I don't know what I deleted. Oh, it was just paths still. I just didn't have the shift button held down, I guess. So we need new levee here. High priority. And then some sluices over here as well. So we're going to have these open. Yes. Open when there's bad water. And these ones close above contamination of 0. So open when there's good water. We're not going to have any of these downstream stuff set up because these pipes are going to be pressurized. We need them to be pressurized. It looks like if we built just another stair here, then this guy could reach that last piece of scrap. Of ruins. 2 scrap. Are you going to be able to finish this task? If I watched it closer, they very well could have. Highest priority there. After that guy's done, he won't stay to actually complete it. That's fine. This just isn't optimized quite for the way we want the water to flow, but it's also not disastrous if the water starts flowing now. Because these should remain closed and not let the water flow off the map. This is blowing up in 10 days. So I'm glad we got this set up to contain that issue. Let me just take a look here. Okay, yep, it's not going to cause any issues. All right, so that's done. Let's delete this path. fact, we can delete this path too. That was just another way for water to flow off our map and eventually, or bad water to contaminate it. All we need now is just another levee right here. Unpause. Highest priority. Go back up. Where's our reservoir? Check it out. Can they reach that? Nope. I should have known. But if we put... This is kind of a not very smart way to do it, but we can make it so that they can access up there. And then build dams right here. And we'll have this close above downstream depth of, I don't know, 0.8. Okay. Did we finish building that other levee? We did. So this whole, that's why it started pumping out here, obviously. So that's all handled. These aren't going to do anything. This is not going to take that long to fill up anymore because it's not filling up this whole section. So yeah, now we can turn these pumps back on. And we should. Excellent. That is a great place to end the episode. We got a lot accomplished. We narrowly avoided disaster over on one of these sides. Where was that? Right here. We avoided problems there. I think we're bad tide ready, to be perfectly honest. I believe it's set up to not cause any issues. This is going to blow up in 8 days, but we already proactively solved that issue. Okay, I think we're sitting pretty good. Now we can focus on getting the tubeways going. I think that'll be our next thing. Tubeways and then explosives and tunnels. Probably in that order. Maybe explosives first, because that will help us with tunnels to utilize the tubeways a little better. I don't know. I'll think about it. Let me know what you guys thought. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time.